LoreWarrior Online, TSG-9H Ti Ts'ang. Overview. At the end of the Fourth Succession War, the Capellan Confederation had lost half of its worlds to the aggressors. Of the more than 150 Capellan regular and mercenary battalions at the beginning of the war, 65 had been utterly destroyed, and an additional 46 had been captured or defected. In capturing such a large swathe of Capellan territory, the armed forces of the Federated Sun's juggernaut had destroyed the nation's pride in itself. When Sun Tzu Lao assumed the Celestial Throne in 3052, he immediately began several programs to restore the Confederation's reputation as a powerful nation, not only in the eyes of the other houses, but also in the hearts of its citizens. The latest and most important of these programs in the Xinsheng movement, meaning New Birth, capitalizing on his position as First Lord of the New Star League, Sun Tzu had begun to preach manifest destiny amongst his people. To aid in his endeavor, Sun Tzu recently commissioned a series of new battle mechs intended to epitomize the essence of House Lao. The first of these designs has overt tones of Chinese design worked into the armor of the mech itself, similar to how the Draconis Combine and their mechs clearly display Japanese workmanship. Chancellor Lao named the new design Ti Ts'ang, or King of the Earth's Womb, and the Lord of Yanlo Wang. Capabilities. The Ti Ts'ang is the Capellan Confederation's first attempt at a mech equipped with a weapon designed for hand-to-hand combat, in this case an axe. With the success of such designs as the Scarabus, Night Sky, and Berserker, as well as older mechs like the Hatchet Man and Axeman battle mechs, Chancellor Lao wished to create a mech along the same lines for his military. Relying heavily on weapons purchased from the Free Worlds League, the Ti Ts'ang mounts a plethora of extended range medium and small lasers, giving it a blistering fusillade of firepower at short range. The Confederation may have problems purchasing these weapons, however, as relations between it and the new Free Worlds Leagues has deteriorated. The most stunning feature of this mech is the inclusion of triple strength myoma, a technology pioneered by the Federated Suns. In his speech announcing the debut of the mech, Sun Tzu said, "It is time we overcame our fear of symbols from the past. That we were tricked into using defective myoma during the Fourth War is common knowledge. That it aided in our most ignominious of defeats is recorded with every great house history book, and with this battle mech, we conquer the demon of failure and show our enemies that we have the will to use any tool available to fulfill our destiny." Deployment. The first Ti Ts'angs were delivered to Capellan units stationed on the border of the St. Ives Compact. One was also presented to the 4th Tau Ceti Rangers, a mercenary unit that recently became a Capellan Confederation house unit. Variants. The only variant currently in use stems from the Ti Ts'ang's lack of long-range weaponry. The 9J variant removes an extended-range medium laser from each torso, 2 ER smalls from the left arm, and the tag and 1 double heatsink to free up tonnage for a single ER large laser, mounted in the center torso. So the Ti Ts'ang is a 60-ton heavy. Its chassis is the SL Special. Its power plant is a 360 Hermes XL. It's a cruise speed of 65 kph. It's 76 kph when the triple strength myoma is active. Its max speed is 97 kph, but 119 when the triple strength myoma is active. It uses the Chevron 1 jumpjets, giving it 180 meters of jump distance. Its armor is the Duralex Heavy. Its armament then is 5 diverse optics extended range medium lasers, 4 diverse optics extended range small lasers, and it's manufactured by Ceres Metals Industries, with its primary factory on Capella. Its communication system is the Ceres Com Model 21R, and its targeting and tracking is the C. Apple Churchill. Not a bad looking mech, honestly. I don't dislike the Ti Ts'ang. It perfectly encapsulates a lot of sort of Chinese design, as it says. The feet are a bit weird looking, with the jump jets sort of being awkwardly mounted around it there. But overall, yeah, not the worst. Its walk is 6 or 7 with the myoma active, and its run is 9 or 11 with the myoma active, with a jump distance of 6. It has 13 double heatsinks for 26 heat dissipation, with 9 armor on the head, 30 on the CT, 9 on its rear, 22 on the right and left torso with 6 on the rear, and 20 on the arms and 28 on the legs. The hatchet is mounted in the right arm, with 2 ER medium lasers in the right torso. It has another 2 ER medium lasers in the left torso, and then it has an ER medium laser in the left arm. It then has 4 ER smalls in the left arm, mounted around that huge barrel that you can see there. It also, as it's not mentioned, it has a tag laser in the CT, which is the central mounted weapon that you see there, and then it has its triple strap myoma, which actually count as critical spots located in the left and right torsos. It has its jump jet spread between the legs and the torsos. Overall, not a bad mech. It definitely fits a very niche kind of role, I think. The fact that it's equipped with a decent number of ER mediums does allow it to kind of act as a kind of everyman. It's that thing with 60 tonners, I feel, that a 60 ton mech is not as well equipped in some cases as a 55 ton medium, and obviously it's not as desirable as, say, a 70 to 75 ton heavy. It's fast though for its weight. The myoma definitely gives it that ability to move a little bit quicker, meaning it can surprise an opponent. The hatchet is definitely where it's themed around the idea of being able to get this thing quickly into short range, so it can use all of its firepower, or nearly all of its firepower, and then also at the end of the round strike with the hatchet and do an extra, slam of damage right at the end, meaning that it's capable probably of being able to knock an opponent down very quickly. In theory. Obviously, in return though, the mech is, I would say, relatively under-protected for its weight. 30 on the CT sounds great and everything, but for a mech that's going in that close, that quickly, it means it's going to be focused by enemy targets. And when you're factoring in the preponderance of things like medium lasers and just medium ACs and like AC5s and 10s, you're in a situation where that CT armor could very quickly be stripped. The side torsos only having 22 means you are eventually going to be going internal within the first, I'd say personally within the first couple of rounds, either in the arms or in the side torsos there, since the arms have only got 20. It's only going to take a few hits from return fire before you are going to start seeing holes being punched in this thing. So I think the idea is that you would want to get into combat range, dump as much of your firepower as possible into a target, and then probably jump away, unless you have a major advantage against the opponent that you're jumping into. But this is the kind of mech that, for instance, you don't want it dropping in on something like a hunchback or anything that's equipped with big ACs, because that's got a very clear opportunity to, if not outright shred the armor, to basically leave it at the point where the next couple of hits it's going to take are going to be very bad. And bearing in mind, jumping firing is a big problem with this, because not only are you generating extra heat with your jump distance, it also means that as soon as you open up with the weapon systems, you already got the +3 to your firing anyway, because you just jumped, combined with how far your target's moved and all the rest of it, and the range that you may be at. Yeah, it becomes a little bit difficult. Tag definitely helps in the idea of being able to move and then tag a target that you're about to fire at, so it can help with, obviously, support fire coming in. And that's where lance composition will be very important with a Ti Ts'ang, because theoretically this thing is going to be running with some of the other new mechs like the Duangung and Menshen, that kind of thing, which have some range capability like that, certainly in the Menshen. So you can imagine that the Ti Ts'ang, or two of these, are in a lance, moving in, getting close, tagging targets, and then fire support units are behind them launching in as well. So there's this idea that it's probably going to be able to soften up a target, and then it will finish them off with the hatchet and the medium range fire. So there is that as a potential. I don't see the point in the variant. It sacrifices a fair amount of its weapon systems just to have a single ER large laser. And it also loses the tag system. I don't really see the point in that personally. I think that the standard model that is in this book, I think, is more than adequate for what the idea is supposed to be. It has a very clearly defined role. It's definitely a mech that I could see being quite regular on the Capellan front at this point in time. And I don't, as I said, I don't dislike it. I don't know if I'm saying Ti Ts'ang correctly. I think TS in Chinese, or it depends on what Chinese it is that I know that, for instance, it's not Sun or Sun, it's actually supposed to be Swen. I think it's Swen Se, for instance, and that kind of thing, Swen Jian. But if I started saying Swen Se, or Swen Sit Lao, I'd probably have people going like, why is he saying it so weird? I only know it's Swen because there's some native Chinese speakers in a few things that I've played or watched in the past, and they never said soon. Anyway, that said, Let's Tsang, and yeah, the Chancellor wants you to buy it now, bye.